Hello, welcome or welcome back to the Oracle Light Tarot. It's not a coincidence that you found this reading, that you're here with me now. I've been picking up on the energy for a while this morning. I did do a reading, but I feel called to redo that reading. So here I am redoing the reading. Sure exactly why it felt like it was a good reading. Maybe you're second guessing, or maybe it's not. It doesn't quite feel like second guessing. It's like you're not second guessing something. It's just maybe you're getting more clarity. Okay, more clarity on something. But I definitely feel like somebody's moving along, as in making moves. Okay, there's some kind of new beginning taking place, and it feels like we're either like right before it happens, or you're making moves to make it happen, or you're starting a new beginning, or maybe this is your new beginning. Okay, there's something about the energy and the change in energy also. Yeah, it feels inspirational, so it feels like magic, like that you're allowing to take place. You're believing in yourself. You're believing in your magic. I feel like you're in a flow state right now. Okay, but Spirit is wanting me to let you know not to move too quickly, like take on too many things at one time. See, this is how it flipped. So yeah, so this one just kind of did a so there could be major change for you. Okay, so major change is taking place. Yeah, so Spirit wants you to be aware of the energy, maybe how much of a certain energy you are consuming. Okay, and decision. So you're making some kind of choice, right? Okay, steady. We have a lot of possibilities open for you. Okay, so definitely steadiness. Okay, and being aware of what you consume. And I feel like you're also being called to this energy, this magic energy of allowing and being open, maybe even inspired, and there's an abundance there for you. There's definitely abundance. You could even be walking away from energies that are no longer serving you. Spirit's saying, I see the light. So maybe you're seeing something now. Maybe you're seeing the light on some kind of subject. Somebody could have been drinking too much, or something about drinking. Tails. Cocktails? I don't know. There's a strategy taking place. You're the magician, and we have magician in the mirror and strategy. So I'm feeling like you're the magician in your life. You're taking on this challenge or change. It could feel like a challenge, but there's things are starting to shape up. As you know why? Because I've never seen this before. Actually, it used to just look like a blue magical blur to me, but there is something. It looks like something's crystallizing. If you can see, there's like I don't know if you can see that. It looks like a crystal. So something is crystallizing. It's taking shape, taking form from the energy. So you're like alchemizing energy, you're transmuting energy, or you're in this creation mode. Okay? And you're doing this. Somebody's taking a look at themselves, and I feel like maybe they're feeling as if they're getting older and it's time. It just feels like it's time. It feels very enlightening. It feels very magical. It feels, yeah, there's a lot of passion too. A lot of passion in this energy, right? So you could feel very motivated. It's definitely coming off as motivated. So you're making a lot of plans. The Spirit does want me to let you know, though, that's good that you're making plans, and that you've it's kind of like, because I'm seeing the compass here, it's like you've chosen a direction. Okay, I noticed this one on the bottom. I could feel it in my hand though when I was shuffling. Yeah, It definitely wants to come out. So the door to spirit, the fives, there's definitely a lot of change. So 3 and 2 is 5. So there is awakening right now, some kind of spiritual awakening, a new beginning. There's expansion taking place. The door is open for you to just breeze on through. Spirit's saying. So this feels very, very, very energetic. Like maybe like so energetic to the point where I'm like, okay, woo. Hold on a second. Okay, so sorry about that. I had to pause. So just like I was saying, like a lot of energy coming through, and then even just like that, suddenly how I had to pause. So Spirit wants you to be aware of that. So you know how sometimes we get excited about something and we're gung-ho about it and we're super, you know, and then suddenly pause, like, and it kind of, I don't know if it takes you off track or something like that, right? Because it almost looks like that figure 8 above his head, like a little track. So a lot of it is mental, right? So Spirit wants to talk about that magic and the mental magic, and yeah. So it's getting clarity and also like discernment too. So I'm getting like Queen of like Swords energy also, but yeah, to be very aware of the way your mind works also, right? So with the Consume card, with the Vulture, you know, some people see it as a good omen, some people see it as a bad omen. I feel like it could go either way. It depends on your mindset and what you think. So there's something about being aware, but not being, like, be aware, but not be aware all the time of certain things. So it's a balance of your energy, right? The energy in Consume could also come as like, you know, how the way energy comes to you, like, is it coming to you? Is it being taken from you? I don't know. There's a theme of that coming through. Okay, so just be aware of what drains you. Be aware that not all the time, we're not always going to be like on point. You know, there's this ebb and flow in life, right? This harmony, this balance, there's self-control, there's moderation, and then there's also that time for like abundance, right? And ambition, and it's giving like Page of Pentacles, like new opportunities, right? So, or like Page of Wands, like a lot of enthusiasm taking place here for somebody. Okay, so yeah, so it's the indecision. So it could make you feel indecisive, or, you know, it's and then this looks like a big spider in the middle. That's funny. Looks like 2 big spiders, one here and one there. And that's the 2 spiders are reminding me of my daughter with the spider in her room, and how my daughter used to be afraid of spiders and she'd want them, you know, can I say that word? She wanted them taken care of, right? And she didn't care how, she just wanted them out of her room. But there were those really cute fuzzy spiders that we've been finding every now and then in the room. I don't know how they're getting into them. Well, I know how, because she's probably attracting them through her awareness of them, right? So I don't know, maybe there's also another reason, you know, because they have air conditioners in the window. So, you know, maybe it's getting in through the window somehow. But regardless, however, certain energies could be getting in to your awareness, okay? But the spiders are just making me think of, they're just so cute and fuzzy, and I told my daughter, I said, I'm not gonna get rid of it in that way. I said, we're gonna have to give it time and catch it and release it outside, because they're just those cute fuzzy ones that people keep as pets sometimes, and I just, no, I just don't have it in me to do that. So we take them out. I take them outside, but today my daughter found one. Another one had her dad take it outside. So this is the second one, probably within a week's time frame. And it's funny because I've been noticing the spider too. That's so weird. Because when I was out there this morning drinking my coffee on the steps, where I released the spider, I'm assuming it's the same one. It's probably not, but I'm assuming it looks exactly the same type of spider. But he was just hanging out there, and I was like, "Oh, it's you! Hi!" You know. And I'm thinking to myself, "Well, he must really like it here." And yeah, but then later, probably like 30 minutes later, while I was out roaming around checking on my plants to see how they've grown. my daughter comes out with a cup with a spider in it, saying she had my husband bring her dad bring the spider out for her, and she couldn't open it, but would I open it for her and release it out there, because she was still scared. She was okay to hold the cup, and bring it to me, but still not. Yeah. Anyway, but there's something about spiders. I don't know what's going on. Is this I don't know if it's that season. Maybe it's just getting warmer, and I don't know. Okay, but I feel like we got lost off track. So let's just, I don't know, something about that. I probably will figure it out when I'm editing and add a little note. But, okay, anything else, Spirit? Oh, and then also when I had to take that little break because there was that pause. So sometimes, yeah, we have those pauses, right? Then our attention is drawn to something else. My attention is drawn to the wisdom of the oracle. So I'm definitely going to pull, let's pull from that. I almost forgot. So, yeah, so just something about that, being overwhelmed by maybe so much, taking on too much, right? When you're starting off this new, to stay in peace here. I just opened up to it. New life, peace, right? Okay, a lot of stretching to do, warming up maybe before we take on so much. So, to be aware of that, we don't have to take on everything all at once, right? Spirit wants you to know, definitely know about your magic, though. Spirit was telling me that earlier, talking about it in the previous reading. So there's something about staying optimistic. Okay, so staying optimistic and noticing the abundance around you. There was definitely something coming through about, it was coming through as like sports therapy, but not in the way you would, not in that medical type sense. It was coming through like, because it was reminding me of when someone has sports playing on in the background. I don't watch sports, but there's something about the sports playing in the background. Maybe family members, and it just kind of gives you that, I don't know, maybe you grew up, with certain people watching sports. So, I don't know, it's like a background noise that's comforting. But it's like a nurturing of your abundance. So when you're aware of certain things, like feeling state, it could be music, it could be like a sports playing in the background, but like, how do I explain this, Spirit? Like comforting. So I was being recalled earlier to a childhood memory of mine, and I grew up in the 80s, so I don't know why that's taking place. Maybe you did too. Or maybe there's something about the 80s. But I just remember as a child, I think I skinned my knee. And I was brought, my friend, I was probably elementary age at the time. And my friend brought me into her room, had me sit down, and she put a Band-Aid on my knee because I had scraped my knee. And I just remember crying and being upset. But she put that Band-Aid on my knee. And I remember in the background playing in her room. I don't know if she turned it on to help calm me down, and she was kind of singing along, I'm pretty sure, but it's this memory I have. But it was that song from the movie Beaches, The Wind Beneath My Wings. Oh, so maybe that's what it's coming off as like a support. The wind beneath the wings as a support. So maybe there's something very familiar, supportive. It's definitely giving that. It's the Magician and the Door. Yeah. Maybe strategies to help keep your energy up, So something like that. But it feels like it's in the background. So maybe it's music. Maybe it's just keeping a clean, tidy house. Maybe it's like Saturdays. Some of us like to we put the music on and we clean house, like something like that. Maybe it's barbecuing, and it's some kind of like something you do that really just like uplifts you and keeps you. But it's something you do regularly, okay? Some kind of support. Message in a bottle. Phone call. Maybe it's making phone calls, talking to your loved ones, keeping in touch. Definitely that. Yeah, it's kind of like this bottle that's just bobbing right? So there's something about that. And I never ever, I don't have the guidebook, and I don't remember ever looking up the meaning of cards, but I feel like I'm being called to do that. Yeah, because I'm wondering, we have thinker here, 44, thinking. Let's see. Connected signs and messages. Your prayers are being heard. Maybe for somebody who's come in contact, maybe you were feeling a little stuck in some kind of area, maybe emotions bottled up, but I feel like Spirit's giving you signs, Spirit's giving you the answer. Spirit hears your prayers, hears your call. This is definitely a sign from Spirit that Spirit hears your call. Okay, that Spirit's listening to you, and you're going to be guided in some way, shape, or form. It could be through a person. Yeah. Okay, so connection being made, okay? Spirit wants you to know that. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else you would like them to know? Well, I feel like, okay, that wasn't too many. I felt like at first it was, and then, oh, and there's a hidden one right here. Okay. Round and round. So maybe you feel like you've been going round and round in some way, in your head maybe about something. Yeah, that kind of made you feel a little indecisive. Is 7 here because we got 5. This would be 7, 8. So yeah, that could have been what caused you to make some kind of decision, okay, or take this step, start this strategy, this new beginning, this journey, right? We have 7 again here. To the sea. Yeah. To the sea. Go the distance and higher power. So the go the distance is definitely coming off to me as like, this cheetah is moving so fast. So, and then we have the to the sea. Doesn't it look like she's kind of like slowed down, maybe swirling, moving about in this paper boat. Maybe she doesn't quite see the direction. She doesn't quite know which way she's going. I feel like, but Spirit's going, there's a higher power here. Spirit's going to show you the way. Just be careful not to take on too much at one time, okay? Like, it makes sense to be excited, but sometimes being overly excited or moving too fast or putting in too much, if we're off balance, okay, it could slow or stall the process. And definitely something about antlers, or I don't think I've ever seen antlers in this card before. I can see them right here. Connect to Spirit. Spirit says connect to Spirit. Spirit has you. Spirit got you. Spirit's watching over you. Definitely. Spirit is watching over you. The key, also, the key, it looks like a keyhole right here in her third eye. So there's a need to envisioning what you want to see take place in your reality, what you would like to experience. There's a lot of things about community and family coming through, like very big, very strongly. Okay, another about angels and adaptation too. So being adaptable, maybe you're going to need to work with a community supportive somehow, or a family support somehow, okay? So something like that coming through. You could be seeing feathers, signs from Spirit. What else would you like them to know, Spirit? What else would you like them to know? Serendipity. So it's like giving off that like spontaneous energy, also that it's giving like that supportive energy where it feels like a supportive flow, or like kind of like some kind of spontaneous serendipitous after the 8. So this is 9 coming through for you. I feel like it's more about, it's like this indecision card is more about changing your mindset. I think that's what the spiders were about. Changing your mindset, changing the way you see maybe obstacles, choices, maybe things that you're Maybe it could be traveling for somebody, something like that. You could be worried about traveling, maybe even worried, a lot of themes about family members coming through here. Okay, with the red hood, there's definitely the red colors coming through. You could be noticing a lot of red. So there's a lot of passion energy coming through. Also green coming through here with the serendipitous card. Yeah, green and red. Passion. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else you would like them to know about this, Spirit? Oh, something. Okay. So Spirit wants you to... Oh. And the Oracle of the Truth. Let's go ahead and do this. I was being reminded about that too, and I had to pause the reading, so don't forget that. Interesting. Could be seeing butterflies. What is the message, Spirit? What would you like them to know about this reading here today? What would... Oh. That was very fast. The flipping again. The flipping. The wishing tree. Which is 5. So 5s have been coming through too. You could be noticing a lot of 5s. So change. A lot of change coming through for you. Let's go ahead and read this reading. I don't think I've ever pulled this tree before. Oh, he has all kinds of ribbons in the tree. So he, like, the tree's the person, but all kinds of ribbons, colorful ribbons. Maybe this is like ribbons as in like achievements, right? A lot of ribbons in this tree of achievements. Maybe you have a family that's achieved a lot and you feel very you know, called to some kind of important achievement yourself, or maybe your family is supporting you in some kind of achievement that's about to take place for you. This could be something like a job. This could be something like school. This could be just, you know, something very meaningful and important, right? It deserves a ribbon. So, 23. Wait. 23? Oh, not page 23, but number 23. Dreams, unspoken wishes, fantasies, desire for change, lack of action, idealization. So, okay. So the card of the wishing tree indicates that the seeker has very deep desires. Suddenly I'm very thirsty. Also. So you could be very thirsty for, yeah, like desiring something, craving something even. Right? We have this river here, but that's definitely coming through because I'm feeling very thirsty suddenly. But it's doing that. Okay, so the seeker has very deep desires, perhaps unexpressed, but it is doing nothing to fulfill them. Perhaps they do not even know exactly what they want, but they realize that their current conditions are less than ideal and they aspire to something greater. Yeah. So if the question is regarding work, it may be that the seeker does not have a clear idea of the field that they really want to work in and is doing nothing but dreaming rather than doing something concrete to make change. If the question is about love, they may be excessively idealizing someone they have a crush on, failing to see the person as they truly are. There's a danger of being disappointed by realities. Yeah, so that's that, like, you know, when you create a strategy and you're like, whoa, like that gung-ho energy type. Okay, so that's definitely coming through. Yeah. So there is a danger of being disappointed by reality, which may be why they have preferred to stay in the realm of fantasy. Wow. So the card suggests that they should take their time to take a good hard look at themselves and get things clear in their own mind. This will allow them to finally understand what they really want, then take action to bring it about. Yeah, and the card indicates that they have everything they need to reach their goals, but they have to be the one to act rather than sitting passively by waiting for fate to do it instead. Yeah, and I feel like that's what you could be doing right now, right? You could be like this was the energy of like not really knowing where to go, feeling stuck, wondering, waiting, you know, but it's like suddenly, you know, taking that inspired action here, okay? But Spirit's just, it's great that you are definitely taking that inspired energy action, right? But Spirit wants you to pay attention, okay? Not to overwhelm yourself, right? Not to overwhelm yourself. You don't have to go too hard all at once, right? So Spirit's definitely telling you that right now. So in order for your dreams to become reality, you must take action now. Did I just read that? Yeah. And I feel like you are. I feel like somebody is. I feel like you could have done that. There's somebody that did that or is about to do that. Yeah, they're about to take their inspired action right now. So that's amazing. I just kind of want to say, like, I feel like saying, maybe it's because Spirit wants to say that Spirit's proud of you for taking that action and taking that first step, even though you don't quite know where you're headed, right? But you just know that you need to do something. So, and I feel like, yeah, I feel like Spirit's proud of you. Really proud of you. You could even be like, or somebody could have even just told you that. But even waking up to this and acknowledging this is such a big step for somebody, is what I'm getting. Yeah, and Spirit really wants you to know that. Spirit's going to give you a lot of signs and synchronicities. This reading could be a sign for you, that Spirit is proud of you. You know, because sometimes we can get really caught up in our head and certain achievements and the way things are supposed to be, and we never get the courage to make that move, right? Because we don't really know where we're going. So we can only come to like so much clarity about a decision, right? And making that decision to, you know, to finally get past maybe the overwhelm of the gravity or how big something feels, right? Or how scary something feels, and like stepping past that and being like, you know, stepping past the unknown, right? And then choosing a decision. Is one decision better than the other? Maybe. Who knows? You know, but you can only weigh it out to the best of your ability, right? And then sometimes we learn. If we make the wrong decision, we learn. Okay? We do. And that learning is helpful in itself, right? Where did that fall? Yeah, so TikTok, so this just fell when I moved that, but there's something about time. Yeah, I feel like the time is now for you, right? Oh, and there's also something about a deep knowing about time. That was definitely coming through earlier. Are we really going to dive into that? It's a 7. Again, 7. A deep knowing. What else was 7? That's 8. I feel like we had another 7. Right here, round and round. The deep knowing and the round and round. Okay, so what do you want to say about that, Spirit? Because I feel like that just came through out of nowhere. What do you want to say about it? It's something about like knowing about time not being real. Maybe you're worried about time in some way. And I'm hearing perfect plan. Okay, so maybe you're worried about the perfect plan, but Spirit's like, there is a perfect plan already. There is a perfect plan already. Like, yeah, something like that. Okay, what would you like them to know about the TikTok round and round and deep knowing, Spirit? What would you like them to know about that? What was it that you're wanting to tell them? What is it that you're wanting to tell them, Spirit? I feel the cards. I can feel them. What do you want them to know? I think it's about, I'm feeling like it's about the inspired. Oh, and did this come through the other day? This came through the other day. Did I post that reading? I don't know. I do so many readings that... Where am I? And I don't know how to pronounce that one. There's something about bridging. We have a rainbow bridge here, but there's something about bridging into some kind of new world. It feels like it's that inspired energy, but let's refresh here and read it, because I'm sure I want to explain it better than it explains it here. That's the name of the card. Keywords: harmony, equilibrium, awareness, balance, a pause. Was I not saying that? Calmness, decisions to be taken in the future, and reflection. Upright meaning. The card of, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that, announces a period of tranquility and equilibrium for the seeker. It is best to take advantage of this relatively calm moment in order to restore balance. So like Spirit's saying, I think Spirit's saying like the time it's now, and maybe you're knowing that, like maybe you're realizing that time is, it's now. Now is the time to take advantage of this, okay? Trunk represents the seeker, while the surrounding worlds allude to the various spheres of their life: work, love, family, friendship, interest, studies, goals to achieve. Is constantly threatened by the serpent Nidhogg, I don't know how to pronounce that. Forever nibbling away at the roots. Or by the four stags eating up new shoots. The seeker now must reflect on those things that bring joy and those that bring only negativity or present obstacles along the path. Drawing this card represents the need to stop and take an objective, analytical look at the importance of the areas of our lives and to try to determine whether or not the current state of balance we find ourselves in is satisfying. If not, we must learn what can be done to improve it. It is by no means a negative card, indicating as it does that the seeker has the situation under control and has been able to overcome its negative aspects, arriving at an equilibrium perhaps with great effort. It will be particularly important to examine the surrounding cards, which will provide us with the context necessary to understand which areas of our life need the most attention, or even indicate the people or the factors exercising either a positive or negative influence. So you could be, been influenced by someone, right? Not in the best, not the best influence, or somebody somebody that is. So take the time to stop and reflect. The awareness that you will gain will be well worth it. I'm hearing do what's best for you. That's what Spirit's saying right now in my mind. Do what's best for you. That's what Spirit wants you to do. And that means really going within, maybe even meditating on it, thinking about it. What's the best thing to do for myself? Spirit, what is the best thing to do for myself right now, right? It's definitely balance, connection to loving, compassionate people, right? Treat yourself with compassion and love, also, Spirit saying. I feel like there was an answer for you in here, but it might have been it, but let's see. One last card, Spirit. One last card. The Garden Gate. To break down the Garden Gate. That song, I think there's no time to waste. Life is a highway. This song coming right through. I'm sorry, I broke out into jazz hands and song for you, but I'm gonna ride it all night long. So that's that energy of like, oh, like it's, I don't know, someone's made a decision. Maybe you were apprehensive, okay, but there's something about Spirit wants you to stay like, maybe because you made this move, somebody could have gotten such a good, like, feeling like almost high, like, energy of motivation, but just to be aware of that, okay? I'm seeing somebody like somebody being very motivated to take action, maybe didn't think something through, and then suddenly they got what they wanted, and then they're like, okay, now what do I do with this? Like, so maybe, even being overwhelmed with this when the next step comes, because you weren't expecting, right? Maybe you were kind of apprehensive, you weren't sure. It just feels like it's very overwhelming. Sorry, I heard the door. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. See, like that pause coming through. So there could be interruptions. There could be pauses, but there's something about being that you're safe, you're open, like being open, staying inspired, the music, we don't need to take on all the achievements. Be proud of the moves that you're making, the choice, as long as they're like positive, beneficial choices, right? That feel good, right? And just keep moving in that feel good direction, I think is what Spirit's trying to say. The achievements will come over time, right? So this is a big achievement. A lot of the time, the first step is like the biggest achievement in some area, right? And Spirit wants you to know that. And your world, this card is also representing to me, like, it looks like a bunch of worlds. There's a lot of deer energy or stag energy coming through. I guess it's definitely coming off as your connection to Spirit, that higher power, that connection. So mentally, I think the most important is to stay connected to Spirit. Meditate, a lot of meditation energy coming through, connecting to that higher power, which kind of changes your world, right? It changes your world, changes your experience. You could really feel like, when you're in certain mindsets, that you live in certain, like an island of your own, of, with the storm cloud over you that follows you around, or it's sunny days that follow you around, right? Sunny days. Here you go. It's chasing the clouds away, right? Sesame Street. Okay. All right. I'm going to let you guys go. I hope that this reading made sense. I hope it was helpful to you in some way. I hope you heard what you needed to hear, what you came here to hear. And just so you know, there's no coincidences, and Spirit wants you to know that. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.